Hi everybody, welcome to Taekwondo Today. Our special guest today joins us all the way from Bournemouth. Can I get a huge round of applause and welcome for our great guest, legendary instructor, Master Malcolm Jones, 8th Dan. Hi sir, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you, sir. It's great to see you. Great to see your smiley face again. I always love seeing your smiley face and all your wonderful student smiley faces too. I hope you're well up there in good old Manchester. I see the BUTL and the White Wolf thing in your background. I hope you're all good. Yes, I'm great. I'm great down in sunny Bournemouth. It's been wonderful down here, so it's fantastic. Cool.
Well, probably one of the best places to be at this time of when all things are going on. Nice and nice by the beach.
Yeah, yes, lots of people have been deciding that it's a good idea to jump off of a 100-foot cliff, and yeah, that's not so clever. But other than that, oh yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful down here. It's a bit chilly.
Awesome.
But it's great. Yeah. So good. Lovely to see you again, sir.
Yes, and you, sir. It's great to have you on here. And I think it'd be great for everyone, and especially students, to hear your many great stories. But I thought it'd be really good if we started with your history. So if you mind going through some of your history in Taekwondo, how you got started, how long you've been doing it for.
Crikey. I started December the 1st, 1980. That's when my Taekwondo journey began. I'd been doing martial arts since I was 13, and that was in 1974. I'm doing judo, karate, boxing, and all that sort of stuff. And a mate of mine where I'd worked was into Taekwondo, and he'd said, "Oh, you should." You know, we used to lark around in the old. We used to work in a warehouse, a paint warehouse, and we used to go around kicking all the boxes up in the stores and what have you. It was really naughty, very, very naughty. and he was a lot more flexible than me, and he'd be doing all these amazing kicks, and I'd go, oh my god. And he said, you should go and do Taekwondo. And I said, well, there isn't any. And the nearest place back then in the 80s, in 1980, was, well, to be fair, this was in the late 70s, was about 50 miles away from me. Because in those days where I lived, there was only about, in the whole of the Southwest, there was about 5 clubs. In the whole,
oh wow,
like Cornwall, Dorset, Somerset, Devon, only 5 clubs in that area. Amazing. So anyway, he said you should go to do some Taekwondo. So when I moved down to Bournemouth, I found this Taekwondo club, which was run by a guy called Keith, or what's his name? Keith Jarrett, I think his name was. And he was just, I think he was a green belt, and he ran this club as a green belt. You know, in those days, it was anything goes.
Yeah.
And I went along. No, Keith Yates. That's who it was. It was Keith Yates. And I went along to his class, and it was just me and him. and he said, "Oh, this is great. You know, we should take on the world and make this a fantastic Taekwondo thing." And I said, "Well, yeah, well, whatever." So I did Taekwondo with him, just larking around. Really, it wasn't really a proper class. And then we discovered this WTF person called Vincent Chung, and he took us on, and I did WTF originally. It was 1980. I did WTF Taekwondo, and then you could double grade. I think I only did one grading, and I went from white belt to green belt in one go, because it was all about sparring and what have you.
Yeah.
And then this guy that I'd met, he said, well, I used to train in Andover in an ITF club, and it was run by a black stripe called Brian Lovejoy. And he said, you know, why don't we go up there and try that? Because we both didn't really like the WTF one. We preferred more the ITF type stuff. And we went up there, and I never looked back really. It was ITF stuff from there on. So yeah, so that's been 40 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's been quite a long time, but it's all been good fun. It's all been good fun.
Absolutely, it's amazing. Like the next thing I was going to speak about, and I suppose it's going to be hard to answer with 40 years worth of experience and memories. But what would you say is like one of your biggest or favorite achievements that you've either experienced or achieved yourself in your 40 years of Taekwondo?
I always say this to everybody that speaks to me. They say, well, what's been your number one thing that your number one achievement? And it's not what I've achieved, it's what they've achieved. I always go back on, you know, a student's first grading, or first time they compete and they win, or first time, you know, the first black belt. I think that's amazing. I'm not in this for myself. I don't do Taekwondo for myself. I do it for other people. They're far more important than I am. I'm just some old bloke who lives down in Dorset. I'm just some guy who can't kick very well. And it's them. Those are the people that are my best achievements. Yes, I've had people, as you know, I think when we were in Holland, sir, about 3-4 years ago, you saw
Oh yes, yeah.
a couple of my guys win world titles. I've had 6 or 7 world champions. And one lady back in the days of THB was 6-time world Taekwondo champion. Unbelievable, wow. Undefeated, fantastic. And those things are great, but those high level people aren't kind of normal. I don't mean that horribly, but they're not. But they're not your normal average person. Normal average person just wants to come along, have a little bit of fun, and do some kicking and punching. That's the people that I like teaching. Obviously, I like the elite people as well. You know, that's great. But I just like to see people achieve. I also miss summer camps. I'm not sure if you ever did any, sir, but
yeah.
Oh my God, I so miss those. You know, the camaraderie. You just go away for a week, just camping by the sea. I absolutely adore it. I haven't done it for, oh God, nearly 15 years. So I really do miss those times. And I suppose on my own personal point of view, was meeting General Che and grading with General Che. When he came to the UK, the last time he was ever here, before he passed away, unfortunately, was in September 2000. And to meet him and to have the honor of grading for 5th degree under him,
wow,
was something I'll never, ever forget. Incredible performance. And, you know, to meet and just sit and listen to him talk, I was like gobsmacked. I was like, my jaw must have been so like that. It was just incredible to hear him talking and his experiences and his knowledge. I've never ever forget that. So yeah. Wow. So those are the things for me, sir.
Yeah, no, that is amazing, and it's one of the things I wish I started in 1999. So I was 9 years old then, so I sadly didn't get a chance to ever meet General Che and that, but everything I've heard has been amazing, and you know, watching the great things online, so I can imagine how that would be such an incredible moment. It's funny you mention summer camps, because we were going to try and do one this summer for the first time with the student national squad, and we booked a nice little place on the Yorkshire coast to go and do it and things like that. And we had I think we were going to be there Friday to Monday, like a long weekend, but sadly with everything going on, that's had to be postponed. So I don't know if we change it to a winter camp or something like that. But
yeah. I mean, winter camps are good fun. I mean, we used to do winter camps as well. But have you done ones abroad? Haven't you done or have they just?
Oh yeah. Yes.
Or should I mention what goes on abroad?
No, we say summer camp, but sadly a lot less training and a lot more holidaying really. But we were trying to, with these ones, we were trying to make it kind of a more summer camp feel, because you're dead right. I missed them from when I was a kid, and when I was younger, they're fantastic, and a young adult, they were great. So if we do get one sorted next year, we'll definitely invite you, sir. I'm sure.
Oh, yes, I'll be there. I'll be there with my sun hat and my bucket and spade. I'll be there.
Yeah, I thought that would be great. Because it is things like that. I think that the great thing, especially the thing the students love with Taekwondo in general, is that camaraderie, is that kind of, you know, family building and the experiences they have. Because the ones that I've experienced, you know, going abroad and things like that, when I was training, you know, we very rarely got those opportunities, or you know, they just weren't there now. And with the world being so much more accessible and Taekwondo being so much more accessible, it's amazing that the experiences that people get. Because like you said, we've traveled the world together a few times, haven't we? We've been in Holland and Poland and things like that. And it's just amazing to see how how those opportunities are just such a great way of showing the true what Taekwondo really is, which is awesome.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is harping back to when I was a kid. When I was a kid, there was no mobile phones, there was no Facebook, there was no Twitter, there was no TikTok. You know what the heck TikTok was all about? I never know. I'm way too old for all that sort of stuff. But there was none of that, and it was just talking to people, chatting to people, and having a good time, and just enjoying each other's company, and not being sat at a table and going, "All right, yeah, I need to." Boom, 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 boom. Oh yeah, boom, 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 boom. There's none of that. Okay, it's just enjoying people's company, and I absolutely loved it, adored it. Best place to get suntan as well. You could spend all day, all 2 weeks in Jamaica, but to get the best suntan, you need to go to summer camp for a week.
Yeah,
just outside in the sun. Oh my God, it's amazing. Yeah.
yeah.
So let me know if you're going to do one, sir, because I'll be there. I'll be there before.
It's definitely, we planned it. We booked everything, and the place we were going to use has just contacted us to say that you know, they don't think they could give us the experience that we were hoping for this. Especially, we were going to do it next month, but I think the consensus is we'll definitely jump it to 2021 summer. So I'll definitely keep you in the loop. That'd be great.
I mean, if you guys ever want a winter one, I've got a perfect venue down here. Perfect venue for it for winter. It's always loads of entertainment, and it's a weekend thing. Normally starts Friday and finishes like most people goes. I think Sunday night. I think most people finish. But yeah, it's a brilliant place. A lot of the other groups use it. You know, all the other Taekwondo groups and a lot of other martial art groups use it, and it's a reason. You know, it's really, really good. The chalets are very basic, or you can go really glam. Okay, it's whatever you want. So,
yeah. Oh, awesome! That sounds great. That'd be fantastic. Yeah, and moving that on as well, because I wanted to kind of ask you, because I'm sure, again, with your 40 years experience, you've got many great funny stories and memories, because I wanted to try and make these things a bit more funny, because I think that, especially with the students, they all, especially if they've never done Taekwondo before, they come to university in September, they've got this great attitude of, they're so excitable, everything's amazing. Joining something like Taekwondo for the first time is amazing because it's so new. And obviously with those things, it's always very fun, and there's a lot of great moments that happen that, you know, they have a big social side and fun side. So I just thought it'd be great if there's any stories you can tell us, or
what legal ones, legal ones without. It's probably some juniors.
Any funny memories?
Yeah. I mean, going back, believe it or not, for all the people that are going to be watching this who've never heard of Taekwondo before, I think we touched on it earlier. The founder of Taekwondo is a gentleman called General Che Hong Hee. And like I said, when he came to the UK for the last time in 2000, he took us out for a meal. And I've never seen someone so funny in all my life.
Really?
And everyone would think, oh, you know, he's really deadly serious, and he's like this, and oh my God. No, he wasn't at all. He was so relaxed. He was so humorous. He was so down to earth and laid back. He wasn't some sort of special person who nobody could get close to. He was there, accessible for everyone. So it was amazing to see, and it was really funny. We had, I'm not sure if you ever heard of him, sir. There was an amazing man that we had when I was in Puma called Master John Black.
Oh yes, I have. Yes.
Yeah, incredible personality. Unfortunately, he passed away some time ago. A very sad happening. And he came to General Che's meal, and he was just sat opposite General Che like this, and he was going, and he was asking him all these questions, and General Che was just going, what the hell is he talking about? And he kept going, what's he saying? And of course he was talking. It was Master Black going, and he was going, he funny man, but that's enough now. I want to eat my dinner. So he was really, really funny. For me though, a lot of the funny things were in gradings.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I remember I asked a little kid once, I said, because, you know, I don't know if your students have to do theory testing in their grading.
Yeah.
This little kid, I don't know, you must have been 10. And I think he was a blue belt or red belt or something. And I asked him, and I said, "Sir," I said, "where does Taekwondo come from?" And he went, he kind of looked like that, and kind of as kids do, and then he kind of looked up at the wall, and then he looked up and he went, "Space. That's where it comes from. It comes from space." And I said, "No, sir, it doesn't come from space." But the whole place just erupted. We had back in the day, we had I always remember this. We had back in the TAGB, one of the examiners, I can't remember who it was, Master Sergio, I think it was, and he was asking, he was saying to someone, he said, "Right, what's this part of the hand?" Okay, and he was using his finger. All right, and the guy got it correct. He said, "Yeah." He said, "Right, what's this part?" And he got it correct. He said, "Right, what's this part?" Or "What's this?" And he said, "Yeah, Songkao." And he said, "Right, what's this?" And he said, "Yeah." And then he paused, and then he said, he got a pen, and he said, "What's this?" And the guy said, "It's a pen." That's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. I thought, "You numpty." Well, yeah, he literally said, "What's this? What's this?" And he put it, and I said, "What's this?" He said, "Pen." You numpty. Oh my goodness. We had when I took my grading, my original black belt grades were with Master Heel Cho, really famous, great martial artist, unbelievable, and he was very stout. He was very much like General Che, very. Everyone would think he was very austere, and in the grading he was, to be fair.
Yeah.
And he had this gentleman come up for his grading. I don't know, he's going for first degree or something. And behind Master Cho was a big, the Korean flag, and it had the tenets of Taekwondo, and it had everything written on the flag behind. And he said to this one guy, he was asking him everything, and this guy said, "I don't know, sir." And you could see Master Cho getting more and more annoyed. And he said, "Yeah, but right. So what about, what's her stance?" I don't know, sir." And he said, and you could see he was getting really, really angry. And then he said, "Right, what is name any tenet of Taekwondo?" And he said, "I don't know, sir." And of course, it's written on the wall, on the thing, written in courtesy and integrity. And so Master Cho looks over his shoulder and he goes like that. And the bloke said, "Wall." What are you doing? It's just funny. I remember, there's so many funny things. I remember one of the examiners, he was sat down talking, and he was chatting to everyone. He was really, I'm a big examiner, and I'm this. And his chair actually gave way behind him. It's a bit like it was a bit like the Graham Norton thing. Have you seen the Graham Norton when they all you saw was this guy, and then all of a sudden all you see was his legs just appear out of nowhere because he fell over. Oh, it's hilarious. That's the funniest thing I've ever seen. It's all good stuff. But I'm not sure if I should say this. One of the funniest things, I didn't see it, but I heard about it, was, have you ever heard of a guy called Dorian Bytum?
I don't think so.
He was back in the THB, a really excellent fighter, an old world champion. THB had loads of really talented fighters, and they still have. And he was doing this training session with a load of kids in this brand spanking new venue, and it was on a beautiful sunny day. And it was these group of kids, and they were all doing front rising kick, like this, and they were all in a circle. And he was in the middle, and they were young kids, and they were doing this stuff, and the roof was leaking, and this water kept pouring down on top of Dorian. It kept, and he was thinking, "What's going on here? What's going on here?" And the kids are doing this front rising kick and what have you. But it wasn't the roof was leaking. One of the kids had peed himself.
Oh, no.
It was, and it was flicking out all over him. Oh my God!
Oh dear.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
no.
yeah.
Oh
Bless.
wow. It
So
just seems.
there's loads of funny stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember this, because I had one of my funniest moments, and also I suppose scariest moments to start with, was involving you. Do you remember when I stayed with you for the Grandmaster Huang Kwang Sung seminar?
Oh yes, I do.
And we drove down. I drove down on I think it was the Friday. It was the day before the seminar, which was on the
Right.
Saturday, I think. And I was staying. You really kindly offered I could stay at yours. So I remember I'd been driving all day, so I was in my just baggy jeans, my polar bear jumper, nothing serious, whatever. And then I remember you said to me, "Oh, we're gonna go meet some friends." They've just gone out for a meal, and we'll meet them for a drink afterwards. I thought, "Oh, that's great." And then I remember when we were halfway there, then he said, "Oh, it's Grandmaster
It's
Huang Kwang,
Grandmaster Oldham. Yeah.
Grandmaster Oldham, Master Orcello as well." And I'd never met them, any of them at this point. And obviously Grandmaster Huang coming over to do the seminar, I was like, wow.
Yes.
And I was like, oh gosh, I'm in this awful polar bear jumper. And I remember we went and met them in the restaurant, and we quickly just said hello while they were finishing up. And it was obviously, very serious, very respectful moment. Didn't want to interrupt their dinner stuff. Then we went and waited for them outside and had a drink. And then I remember being so nervous because I didn't know what to say, because I was like, wow, first time I've been amongst pioneers and grandmasters and masters, and it's just little old me at the table as well. And I remember we were talking with Grandmaster Huang, and it was really interesting, very kind of good conversation, but serious in a nice way conversation, appropriate conversation and everything and stuff. And then I remember Grandmaster Huang went back to the hotel then, because it was getting quite late. And then it was just left with you, myself, Grandmaster Oldham, and Master Orcello. And I just remember Grandmaster Oldham turning to me and being like, "I bet you were scared silly then." And then because of how the conversations was going, and then we all erupted into laughter, and we had such a great laugh that evening. And they were just making the joke saying, "I bet you were really scared and you were really worried, and then you thought we'd all be these kind of really scary individuals that you could have a laugh with." And it was the complete opposite. And it was probably one of the best evenings I think I've ever had in Taekwondo. It was such a great experience. But I just remember being terrified walking through the doors of that restaurant, just thinking, "Oh my gosh, how do I approach these people?"
Well, that's it, sir, isn't it? Because I'm a great believer. When we spoke earlier before we started recording this, I'm just a normal bloke. Everyone, people are normal. We're not anything special. We're just, it's just an eighth degree. What's that? It's just a piece of paper. Doesn't mean anything, does it? I'm still a normal guy. I'll still go to McDonald's. I'll still order a Big Mac. Okay. Everyone's exactly the same. We're no different. And General Che was no different. And that's the important thing. And I think sometimes people get a little bit, people can be too full of themselves. I think sometimes, I know I'm going to get vilified when weird people watch this, but I don't care really. People need to be human, and people need to have a laugh. Come on. In this time we're in now, we're all killing ourselves because we want to be out teaching people, and we can't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone's been kind of reduced to normality. I think that's a good thing. And I think some people who are too self-important are going to get found out. I think I don't think there's any place for it. Yes, there's a hierarchy, of course there is, but I think it's people just need to be human, and be kind to everybody. I think that's important. I just got one more funny story, if you don't mind.
No, of course.
It's not actually Taekwondo. It's when I did a karate grading. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. Can't believe I'm saying this on national. It's not national TV. It's not national TV. Back in those days, and for all the people that maybe watch this, you'll find when you get your Taekwondo uniform, the trousers are all elasticated waists, aren't they?
Yes, yeah.
They're all really comfy and really elastic. Back in my day, it was back in the 70s. You had what we used to call drawstring trousers. So there's no elasticated. It was just a really old-fashioned, antiquated system of tying your belt or tying your trousers up. And I was a young kid. I was 15, 16, and I was doing my first grading. I was so nervous, and I was late as well. And this guy came in. I was late. I was in the change room. I was getting late, and this bloke came in a real. It was chucking it down with rain outside, and he came in with this hat on and an overcoat, and he grunted a lot. And I said, "Oh, hiya." You know, I was 15, so I was really nervous.
Yeah.
And he went, ugh. And I thought, okay, all right. I said, "Are you here for the grading?" And he went, ugh. And I thought, okay. I have no idea who he was. And so I put my gi on, we called it a gi in those days. And I went out into the room and I said, "I'm really sorry I'm late." And they said, "It's okay. Master Suzuki hasn't arrived yet." And of course, he was the guy I was talking to.
Yeah.
And that's Tatsuo Suzuki, who was the head of the whole, he was like the General J of karate.
Yeah.
And I was saying, "Are you all right?" And he was going, "Oh." And I was thinking, oh my God. And then I did my first lot of grading and I was walking up and down doing punch and block, and my bloody trousers fell down. The trousers, I was going along the grade and they just fell down. And I thought, oh, yeah, oh my God. Really embarrassing. Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. I
Yeah.
remember that actually, I've got one more for you that you just reminded me of. When we were in Holland for the Open World Championships in 2017, I remember that, obviously, because I took the uni students and, you know, they'd never been any international event, you know, never, everything was a massive wow to us all because we, you know, we'd never experienced that sort of thing. And we, you know, we were in there, we had like, we didn't have a full track, so then we just had our squad tops to kind of identify us and things like that. You know, and we had the flag, the UK flag, and it had all the signatures on it with everyone who'd kind of helped us fundraise and things like that. So we wanted to have this really nice photograph, and we were outside the venue. We'd only been, I think we'd probably only been arrived at the hotel about an hour and a half before. So we were just going to see the venue. We'd just done our weigh-in, actually. We went straight to weigh-in, did all the weigh-ins. And then I was just sorting out some paperwork inside while they were getting ready to have a group photograph. So I said, right, get yourselves all ready, because you know how long that takes usually to get everyone in lines and stuff. And then they get it sorted and they take this photograph. But the person, they asked somebody who was there if they could take the photograph for them. And I was like, oh, great, you know, that's great that you managed to do that, because obviously so nobody would be involved. No one would be missing from the photograph. And then as I go back then and meet them, I said, oh, great, let's see your photograph. And the photograph was lovely and all this. They're all together, all smart, like no one's doing anything naughty. They're just all perfect. And they said, oh, great, who took the photo for you? And then they point to an individual. And my jaw dropped, and I was like, they were like, oh, that lovely man over there, we're just waving to him and everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was President CJO, who was the president of HU, who were holding it. That's and right. With him was Kim Bok-man was with him. And they'd asked the two of them if they could take this photograph, which they had done amazingly, and they were so nice and they'd done it. And because obviously none of them knew, they were like, oh, we just asked these two lovely men who were just outside the venue. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I went over and was like, thank you, sir, thanks, you know, really appreciate it and stuff. And it was lovely, lovely people. But it was just that point where you just like, they just didn't know, you know, they weren't aware quite who they were speaking to. And it was a good laugh. But in fairness, throughout the, I do remember throughout the tournament, he would just drop a wave over to them and stuff when he saw them and stuff. So I think they hit it off.
but that's wonderful, isn't it? Because because that just again, it's that people being human. You know, these are the people at the top of the tree.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, King Bok, I mean, my goodness, he was around when you know, in the 50s. You know, in the 50s. Oh my God, he's one of the pioneers of Taekwondo. Okay, incredible. Yeah. And he's there taking Polaroids.
Which was amazing. It was just really, it was one of those moments where you go, it's a magical moment, but at the same time, none of them realised what was going on. But yeah, that was good fun. I just wanted to ask you, sir, as well, one of my last questions was, because you know, especially aimed for the university students, but also I think more importantly, there's so many people out there that are maybe, you know, in higher education, college or A levels and things like that might be considering going to university. Some that may have never done Taekwondo, some that have possibly done it and look to continue. Have you got any advice you'd give students of that age to say, like, why do you think that Taekwondo would be a great thing for them to get involved
Yeah.
with if they never have, or keep going with if they've already started?
I do, sir. I'm not sure if I told you this, but one of the proudest, and I should have really put it in my memories, really. One of the proudest parts of my life was in Southampton in the 90s when I taught at a uni. Exactly. And I was kind of doing what you're doing. And I'll never forget those 6-7 years that I did that, because some of the people that I met, I'm still friends with now. In fact, one of them is probably my closest friend from those days, because the camaraderie we had, and I was they kind of got me into their like gang and stuff, and I loved it because we went out drinking, we went out socializing, we went out partying. And I was a bit older than them, so they were in their, late teens, early 20s, and I was in my 30s at the time.
Yeah.
But they loved it. I loved it. I thought it was great, and it was such a great time. But the number one thing was we have fun. We enjoyed it. Everyone needs to have fun. I think as long as you love your Taekwondo or whatever it is you're doing, your kickboxing or whatever. In our case, it's Taekwondo. Is enjoy it. Enjoy that time. Enjoy that first initial, when you guys have freshers fair. Up and what have you. You never get that time back again. That time stays with you. Stayed with me. It was in the 90s, and it's still with me now. Every time I see my close friend, I don't think you've ever met him, sir, but one day you'll meet him, and he's such a lovely guy. And
awesome.
So enjoy your training, and enjoy your social life, because uni, as you know, is very social linked. You have these parties and have these gatherings and all that sort of stuff. So get as much social interaction as you can. Don't take yourself too seriously. Okay, be respectful, but don't take yourself too seriously. But take your martial arts seriously. And when you're competing, because eventually you're going to start to compete, don't be too discouraged if you don't win. Okay, just enjoy. You can still learn a lot from not winning. It's not all about winning. It's about that step and progressing. You can learn a lot from coming second or third, or even coming 10th. You can learn a lot from. So don't get too hung up if you don't win. Just enjoy yourself, because it's a very special thing. Taekwondo is so special, because of, as we touched on before, all the camaraderie and all the social side of things. It's got so much to offer. Just get everybody to enjoy it, and that's it, really. It's just enjoyment.
Yeah, no, thanks. I think that's great advice, and I think it's been lovely to see, even during this kind of difficult time with lockdowns and things like that so many of the university clubs have been continuing doing like pub quizzes online with each other, video chats, training as well. It's really nice to see that they've kept that going, because I suppose for a lot of people that is what keeps them going during this time as well. So it really is a great ethos to have, and I think that it's a really great movement where students can kind of get involved in martial arts or any type of things at university. In all honesty, I think it's really good. So thank you for that advice. That was really great.
That's all right, sir.
No, it's been great talking to you. I've really enjoyed chatting to you and hearing these stories. It's one of those things where I suppose that we could do 1 million episodes and we still wouldn't cover all the stories and the memories and things. But I really appreciate having you on, and you've been a fantastic guest. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best, and hopefully we'll see each other physically sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I hope so, sir, because I love coming up to see you guys. It's one of my favorite places to go because the atmosphere is just so terrific. So thank you very much. I hope you all guys stay safe, and we hope to see you at the World Championships.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, sir. Okay, take care.